legitimate. And so as they go into this militarized Fallujah-style training to, quote, keep them safe, that will create more fear, where a UFC fighter gets pulled over by the police. He's got his flasher as long as his car's got problems. The cops are probably running his plates, going to try to pull over and help him. He's paranoid because he's got a warrior instinct that hasn't developed. He sees all the bad stuff cops are doing on TV. He feels threatened with his wife and daughter, with his newborn that clicks his... I mean, when I first had a kid, the first 6 months or so, I was ready to fight anybody. It's a genetic thing. So it's this UFC guy all honed. The cops are behind him. He's got a baby that's about a month old. He's all jacked up with that adrenaline. He pulls into the gas station, gets out. They're little cops. He's this big guy. He walks over and says, I want to see ID. That gets them all scared. They taser him, and then they go further and say he assaulted him. And you see the two cops on tape when the supervisor shows up kind of going, no, I didn't get it on tape. The squad car video wasn't on when he assaulted me. Well, guess what? The woman's got the video. He didn't assault you. And right there when you did that, you went from being somebody who was just scared and could have been more manly and said, hey, back off, Chief. We're just seeing we need help. Stop acting like a jerk. And that UFC guy would go, oh, I'm sorry. Because, see, he's with his wife and kid. He's scared. He's been programmed by the media to fear you, just like you've been programmed to fear him, like two morons being manipulated by George Soros and the New World Order, acting like fools. Instead, though, you went to the next level, and then you framed him, and you went from being somebody who was scared from somebody else who was scared, so he bowed up to you, to now committing the act of false witness, which is one of the greatest crimes you can commit, to try to now take this guy's kid from him, file charges of basically neglect of a child, that he did this in the presence of a child when he did nothing, but say, give me some identification. So you tasered him because you've got to be in control of the situation, and now the cops are going to defend you because they're all circled the wagons. They're told civil war and economic collapse is coming because it's been engineered. They're not told that. And so we now are supposed to, in a laboratory event, give the police the resistance to finally commit them to seeing us as the enemy, and the journey towards the globalist takeover is complete. They can then start the Civil War, wipe out much of the police and military and the Patriot movement, and then bring in the next wave of social engineers and psyops as the solution to getting the electricity back on and accepting the new global government. Now, they might run this next year or 10 years from now, but they're beta testing this program right now. And the fact that we're revealing it could stop them if people just understood that this is what's going on. So I have zero desire to sit here and play this whole video report that you can see unedited at Infowars.com. Video, UFC star tased, arrested for asking cops for ID. And when citizens start killing cops, cops will start killing more citizens and vice versa. And it'll become an us against them, citizen against cop situation. And you'll end up having police and citizens that have the same mindset. Here's the article at Infowars.com. Black man who tortured, executed 2 white teens makes Black Lives Matter speech at sentencing. Did the hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matter shtick when the family said, we forgive you for killing our sons, who were dumb enough to try to go into town to buy some drugs. He took them in a field with his buddy and tortured him to death because they were white. And in his mind, it's okay because the media hyped him up that cops and whites are killing black men. And so he's going to go now randomly kill 2 white people. This is exactly as stupid as the whole bandwagon that the police are all devils, or the police bandwagon that if someone asks you a question or says, hey, give me an ID, that you couldn't say, okay, fine, I'll give you an ID. Because a real man isn't scared to de-escalate things and isn't scared to let somebody 10 feet away act a little tough in front of them if you haven't pulled them over and they don't have some big criminal record. And you can see the cops are freaked out after they've tasered him. Now they've got to cover it up so they don't get in trouble. See, that's where you committed the crime. And I bet money if you'd apologize to that guy, he'd apologize back to you. There wouldn't have been a lawsuit out of it, and then you'd have grown to the next level. But even if there was a lawsuit out of it, and even if you end up losing your job, which you probably wouldn't have, you would feel better about yourself and have taken a step in the right direction instead of the public all saying it's the cops' fault and the cops saying it's all the public's fault when we're all in this together, all being attacked by the globalists. It's very simple. And it's horrifying to see people all over the internet. I mean, the anti-police hatred in this country has been whipped up and whipped up. It's across the board. It's growing. And it's not going to reform the police. Reaching out to the police, educating them, standing up to bad cops, but from a position of justice, not of hatred. And supporting good police as a role model is what's going to fix things. And then we could turn things around because, as I've said, I've studied it. The police are one of the easiest to wake up groups out there. They already are concerned. They're freaked out. They understand there's a manipulation going on. And if you just reach out to most of them with the data, they will absolutely wake up instead of being manipulated.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
What's the best way to keep a secret from somebody? Well, you give them something that they want so bad that they don't care what you're hiding.
The year is 2007, and 20% of the state of California is employed in real estate.
We live in a capitalistic nation of kings and prey upon the greed of the selfish pawns.
Based on a true story.
We created the American dream, where everybody could qualify for one of these loans.
Americons. In select theaters, January 23rd.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with sex. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-852-1820. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-852-1820. That's 1-800-852-1820. Call 1-800-852-1820.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
Big John. Every morning at the mine, you could see him arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulder, narrow at the hip, and everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John.
I'll be back this Sunday in studio live, 4 to 6 p.m. David Knight did a great job last week. He sits in here and there because I like hearing him myself. I tune in when he's on. He just gets better and better. He's such a great mind. We've got one of his special reports coming up in the next hour. It's very powerful from last night's Nightly News. I'll go to Harry and Regina and everybody else as soon as we start the next hour. We're only going to play a minute of this. The full Fox 2 out of Detroit newscast is on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com in the featured news area. And the families forgive this guy for torturing and killing with his accomplice their 2 sons for no reason, but they were white. And then he says, hey, Black Lives Matter at the end, and I'm sorry for the blacks killed, like Brown and others. I mean, it's just crazy. And it shows the position of dumbing down the system wants us to get into, when we're all just human beings, and it is the New World Order that is destroying our future and attacking us. Let's go ahead and go to that clip.
And I will carry that with me for the rest of my life here on Earth.
The mothers of the teens expressing the deep, devastating pain and loss left behind. Yet when Young had his chance to apologize to the families, he did nothing of the sort.
I'd like to say sorry to the families of Aiyana Jones, Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, and I want to apologize to them for not being able to get justice for their loved ones who was murdered in cold blood. And in respect for the peaceful protest, I want to say hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matter. That's it, Your Honor.
People in the courtroom react in disbelief, but still the message from the families of Jacob Kudla and Jordan Babish, one of forgiveness.
In the end, knowing who Jordan was, I believe he would want me to offer forgiveness. Although I know I may struggle with that endeavor for the rest of my life, it would be what Jordan would want. On behalf of Jordan and myself, I will pray for forgiveness for both of you.
And no matter what sentence the court imposes today, these defendants will have to answer to God. God's got this. Thank you for letting me speak.
Their 2 sons were trying to buy marijuana. 2 little goofy marijuana guys. Look like nice little guys. But I don't say this to put the moms down. I'm sorry if they're lost, but for everybody listening, mothers and fathers need to tell their kids that, hey, if you're going to get into drugs, don't go to the worst ghetto to get them. Just the ignorance of white trendies is mind-boggling. But I guess I was dumb. I would go into South Dallas to buy liquor when I was like 15, 16. I'd ride along with friends, to have a party when parents were out of town or whatever, have the cheerleaders over. And we would go to the foreign-owned, usually Pakistani or whatever stores, and they'd sell us Jack Daniels and stuff. Or we'd get whatever was cheapest, Everclear and like Milwaukee's Best. I guess I got in fights a few times. I'd start fighting when people came over and tried to rob me. And my parents didn't know about it, so I guess you can't really blame the parents. Kids are just so stupid. So I can't even criticize these guys. I was just as dumb as they were. I just wasn't buying marijuana. Whew. But the issue is, this is the same thing. It's okay for you to torture two yuppie trendies to death who didn't do anything to you and probably have white guilt because they're white. It's just, or you shoot 2 cops in the head because they deserve it because they're cops. This is not the direction to go. Or the Klan goes out and kills some black people because, black people killed some whites. This is civil war, folks. This is what George Soros wants. Briefly, till the end of the month, we got free shipping on the water filtration systems. Now's the time to start purifying your water. Don't procrastinate. That's where the glyphosates and the fluoride's hitting you. ProPure G2 systems blow away all the competition. Promo code WATER gets you 10% off. Then if you add to that, just when you check out, it's free shipping. InfoWarsStore.com. We've had other great water filtration systems as well. InfoWarsStore.com. And by shopping with us for your NutriMedicals, you name it, at InfoWarsLife.com, you fund our whole operation. We've got Ancient Defense, Herbal Immune Defense, 25% off. It is selling out.
Thank you for listening.
I want to thank you all for your support. Stay with us.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
The knowledge of the ancients, tried and true, trusted herbs and extracts fused with the latest nutraceutical science. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. For the last 2 years, our team has been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to develop the ultimate nutraceutical formulation. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. For a limited time, get 25% off on this introductory offer. Visit AncientDefense.com or call 888-253-3139. AncientDefense.com.